Okay, welcome to my little fun video on my AKA Art Space garage. So this used to be the space where all of our stores were in this and this back hallway back in here. And so before, all I was allowed to have, well, not allowed, but all the space that we could afford to give me was we had tables that went all across this way where they kitted everything, shipped everything. And so if I was out here working, I'd obviously use one of those tables. Well, my husband built me this, or got this shelf at Sam's Club, I think, or something. So basically I got this shelf and anything I could fit on it, I could have. And then I got this, I call it my art cart, and anything that I could fit in it, that's what I got to have. And the cool thing about this art cart is it rolls, it's on wheels. So it used to be, I had my art cart right in front of here, and then I would work on the table that was sitting in here, or sitting at that point. And so whenever my husband and they were out here working, he would just roll it off to the side and put it against the wall or move it out of his way. So that was kind of cool about it. So now I have this big open space and I almost don't know what to do with all of it, because really it's just an art space because it is a garage. It's too cold to my husband jerry-rigged this little heater thing, and so I get hot air that blows right on my feet, because if I get cold, my fibromyalgia hurts. But he didn't do it for me. He did it because we had people out here working, and he was out here working, and winters are here, cold. And then we have some really pretty decorations right there. But that keeps us warm, so I'm okay with it. So anyways, this is just the space over here. I haven't had time to organize it. It's only been like 3 weeks since they moved out. And so obviously, like, he left this entire shelf here. I asked him to leave it because I just thought this would be great for storage for stuff. But before, what I had to do is I had to like store all of my stamps, you know, most of them, and I'd say over like 75% of them I went and bought these things at Walmart, and like that is all little doodads and ephemera, and this is all extra stickers and chip art tools and extra rub-ons and my canvases. And so this was a space that I basically got, so that was the only thing I could do, is stick it in clear plastic tubs, which for me totally works fine, and I'm okay with it. I'm not necessarily one that needs to have this really pretty space. I mean, it would be great to work in something like that because it's inspiring, but someday. And then he eventually gave me this one, obviously, when he moved out, so I've kind of started to move stuff over. And then stuff just keeps piling up. My husband went to the auction this last week. He usually doesn't. But he got me all this cool stuff. But then he also got me these really cool, I have to come over here into the light, but they're vintage paints. Like, I can't remember, I need to look at the years closer on them, but they're little teeny vials filled with vintage paint. Some of it's powder and you mix it with water, and most of it's powder, but he got like this whole box of them, plus this really old cool box right here, full of stuff for $1. I'm like, okay, you're awesome. You can go to the auctions from now on. So this is where I have to, I just set this table up because I bought this scanner. I have to scan in my big canvases for my licensing agent. And then I can also sew out here. But really, oh, and then the floor. This is the lovely floor. But this is, when we first started working out here, our feet we got backache so bad because it was on a concrete floor. So my husband went and bought this stuff. It's like you put down for kids mat. Like, I think the other side has color on it. It's like colorful. And kids use it to, I don't know, play with. So we put it down in here because it just keeps our feet soft, and that's what we use. So this is my space. I love this brick wall. I love being behind it. I mean, I really do love this space. I know it looks kind of cheesy, but for me, I'm just so easygoing, and it's great. So this is where I work. This is my table. I have 2 studio lights. I'm going to try and get a third one that will hang up here because I almost need a little more light. And then it's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but this is where I hang the thing so it just comes right in here, and I film it down there. My husband jerry-rigged that to the ceiling. As you can see, it's just wired up there, which I think is brilliant. And then this is my work table. It's just a basic craft table from, you know, plastic table. But I covered it with a big giant roll of the craft sheet stuff that Ranger sells. I mean, I love it. I mean, I use it for I used to use those paper newsprints I think you saw in the She Art Workshop, and but then when I found out you could buy this in the huge roll, and only teachers can, or stores can buy it and sell it in the roll, but it's so expensive. Like this piece, and it just fits over here, was $45 because it's super expensive. But to me, it's worth it. I need it. So this is just my basic space, and if I am working on, like say I'm going to, well, first of all, these are all my art journals that I'm currently working in. I have like 8 or 9 of them that I'm currently working in. I just kind of randomly grab one and work. And then I keep my paintbrushes in 2 things, well 3 things actually, but I just barely got this yesterday. I just got it at the grocery store. It was like $2, super cheap. But I used to just bring the paintbrushes out here after I washed them, or actually after I bribed my children into washing them. And they would just lay here and then I would just use them again. And then these are obviously where they go when they're wet. And I got these little cool things at the dollar store. They're sugar shakers. And so they came with a metal lid on them, and they were so cute. I almost didn't want to take the metal lid off, but they're perfect for paintbrushes because I don't mind if they get paint in them, and they're so sturdy. They don't, I mean, they don't knock over very easily, and also canning jars are good too. But then I got this yesterday because here's the thing is, I will bring out wet paintbrushes, and then once they're dry and I need to move them, I want a place to put them, so I put this in here for the dry ones to move all to the dry end, and then I can put wet ones here. And actually, I bought this really cool, it's a shoe shining kit. It's an old vintage one. It had all the shoe shining supplies in it. I bought it with my friend Julie at an antique store once. It was like 12 bucks, but it was so cool because my plan was to keep all of my paintbrushes in it, but it's really cool, but it really needs like something to be built down in here because they all just fall through, so they don't even stand up. So if they did, it would be more functional. And then also on my table, I just have basic, I keep all the time basic gesso and decoupage, and I put it into these big jars that have wide mouths because it's so much easier for getting stuff out. And then I have spray bottles, and then I have, the only thing I always keep on my desk are these basic things of textures, because I use them quite a bit. And some baby wipes and thing of water and misters. And then the Clorox wipes, and you have to get the ones that have alcohol in them. The good thing about these is they're really great for cleanup when using alcohol ink because you can wipe them and it just wipes it right up. And then I have a little raggy thing that I use to wipe stuff. And but then I have what I call my art carts. And I'm going to back up. And my husband got the original one, or the first time he came home from Sam's Club and he had bought it for me. And the guys keep it to store their tools in, and he's like, I thought this would be perfect for you. And at first I was like, oh, it's so ugly, but it is so functional. I love it. In fact, even if I were to have this beautiful grand space, I would probably still always keep these because for me they're just the best thing. They have all these drawers and they're removable, so they come right out. So say I'm doing a thing with Faber-Castells, I can just sit that right there next to whatever I'm working on and then easily clean it up and put it back, and it's done. So it's really nice. I love that they're removable. And the other thing is that it's on wheels, and I think I already told you that, but you can move it around. But the other thing is when I'm traveling, like I went to this art retreat with my friends a few months ago, and all I did, honestly, was just take all of these out, stuck them in big giant tubs down here, and then took them with me. I didn't take the art cart with me, though I have. When we went up to a family thing, we were taking a, what do you call it? A trailer with us because we were taking a lot of stuff with us. So my husband just wheeled that. He put saran wrap around the whole thing, or whatever you call that stuff, and wheeled it right up onto the trailer. And then when I got there, I cut the saran wrap off and used it, and then we put saran wrap and wheeled it right back up. So anyways, I just love this. I only had one of them before, but he bought me another one because now that I have my own space and I started gathering more art supplies, I've really needed more space. So this is where I keep all of my stuff I have to have like right at hand. Like I mentioned I have stamps and rub-ons and stuff over there, but I do have them over here, but these are the ones I use the most. So like in these little ones I keep just paintbrushes and pens and my Shiva paint sticks, watercolor pencils, and I have them all divided. Same with inks, and I keep my inks divided. These are my, everything in here is permanent ink. Which means I don't have to, if I grab it, I know that if I'm using it on canvas or journaling, I don't have to wait for it to dry, and I don't have to worry about if I put water or paint over it that they're gonna bleed. These are all the distress paint inks, and I keep them all together too because they're just so different than any other ink. And I really don't have any other inks. I have some that Ranger sent me, but I haven't really, I preferred to use just these two. Are pretty much the only thing. And then journaling pens, Faber-Castell, Gelatos. These are my watercolor pencils and my Inktense blocks, but I do also have up here watercolor pencils and this big thing that I bought. Love this. It's just, let me see if I can get this off. This is one-handed, but it was super expensive. But for me, I don't know. It was worth it. It was, I gave it to myself for Mother's Day. But it was, because I bought it wholesale, but it carries 84 of the, hold on just a second. Okay, I got it open. So it has 84 of the things in here, and it's got 2 removable trays. And you can see I've taken some out, and I've been too lazy to put them back, so then they ended up right there. But I do like this. Like, if I was going to travel, I would definitely carry this with me. It's awesome. Or you could use, I mean, if you weren't buying that much, I think it would be awesome to just use a clear plastic tub, like a crayon box. And then I have this side that keeps sprays and stencils, and these are my smaller stencils that I always use, like my go-to stencils, so they're right there. And then I have some more stencils down here that I've collected that I don't use as much. And then these are all stamps that I use all the time. Like, I keep my acrylic and my foam in one, and then all of my roller ones are in one by themselves, and then all of my wood-mounted big stamps are in one, and then these are my cling rubber stamps that are smaller. So, and then these tubs under here, my husband says it's just me being lazy and not wanting to put away stuff. And I say it's really clever way to clean up. If I'm working on stuff, especially with paper or anything, and I don't, like paper, I have a hard time, like I don't know where to put it when I'm done, so I just throw it in these tubs. Or like these books I've been using, I throw in there. But then eventually I go through and organize it when I have time and put it away. That's my lovely garbage can. But this is the other art cart. And on this side, it's just the same. It's got room up here that you could put these like baskets if you wanted to, which just has kind of random stuff that I don't use very much in some of my bigger paint bottles. But I've just got stickles and glitter and adhesives, wax mediums, little doodads. This is all sewing. This is all Claudine Helmuth paints and my Luminaire paints. Alcohol inks are all in here. Liquitex and acrylic inks in here. Stains and paint dabbers in here. Goldens in here. I love having them organized this way because especially if I'm filming and using a specific product, like I can just take this out and use these. And these are all the heavy body acrylics that I have. This is just a Mod Podge of Mod Podge, gessos, glues, matte mediums, modeling pastes, all that kind of stuff. And we've got rub-ons and paints, and this bottom row is all ephemera that I've started collecting, but it's vintage stuff, and so I wanted to keep it close and away because my kids come out here and play, and I let them go through that stuff. But this stuff, I'm like, okay, you are not allowed to touch that stuff. You can touch the paints, but from here down, not allowed. But so this is just my space. It's just, I love it. It's not fancy. It's not, I don't have gorgeous granite countertops and beautiful cabinets, but for me it works. And I think the one thing of showing you this is that we don't all have to have beautiful spaces to create and to be artistic and to be creative. I think whatever we have, I think it works good, and as long as we're comfortable and happy. And I think organization is the key. I am not necessarily a really organized person, but when it comes to art, I need to be, or else it just ends up being, I get so frustrated because my table gets piled high. You saw in Monday's video, it was just piled with stuff. And so when I'm really working on a project, especially because all this stuff is organized, and before Monday, the only one I had organized was this, because my husband just bought me this last weekend. So I spent all day, well, 2 or 3 hours yesterday with my son. He helped me organize all this stuff because it was all just in boxes on the floor. So, but last night I spent all time creating. It was just nice to just have everything organized and to have it in an organized space. And obviously I did before with these, but now it's even more organized. So anyways, this is my space. I plan on putting some tables out here, just getting some more of these tables from Sam's Club for my kids too, because my husband took all the tables. He left me only 2 of them. So I want to get one for my kids to have, and I'll put the rest of these chairs. I got these chairs at a secondhand store. They were like $5 each or something like that, but I like them because they're high and they were cheap and they're padded. So I actually stand up and create because I just like it. It hits me like right here. But sometimes when I'm not feeling well and my fibromyalgia's kicking in, I'll sit down and create. But I almost need him to cut the thing off because I can't get my legs underneath here. Not quite, but I still want it high. But so I want to get some tables and put the rest of those chairs in here for my kids so that they can create whenever they want to. So anyways, this is just a short video, probably not so short anymore, of my art studio, aka garage, and something just knocked off the door there. So thanks for joining me.